It's time for Everything Noob, your source for all things gaming.
Welcome to yet another installment of the Everything Noob podcast, episode 63. Vortak, Jemmy, Dreadlow. How's it going, folks?
Yo, yo!
It's
Hooray,
going.
Monday.
You excited? It is 2014 still, and we're on our second episode. Or wait, we're still
It's
doing
going
the show.
strong this year.
Yeah,
Is it second episode?
of 2014.
Awesome.
So we got a lot to do tonight. We're going to start a new segment on the show where we ask you guys a question, and for next week we take your comments either via everythingnoob.com's contact us section or the comments of the show notes, and we talk about your responses. So we're going to do that this week, and we're also giving away
Twitter?
a copy, and Twitter, maybe. I don't know. Tweets seem to like go to the wayside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When people because people tweet us, and it's
Yeah.
great, and then the tweets just kind of get buried over the week because now we're doing so much more with the channel. So we'll forget to check it, or I'll forget to check it. So
I have it open all the time, so maybe I can just write them down on a list or something.
that's possible. So we'll be taking your comments to our weekly question, new segment we're doing here in 2014. And yes, we're giving away a copy of The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion a little bit later in the show. You guys signed up between last week and today, and we have your responses, and we're going to pick a winner. The drawing tool that I have.
That is a fun game.
I love giveaways.
I know.
Yeah.
This is a good one, too.
Free stuff is always so good.
Free stuff, Plox. Sorry, too much RuneScape.
No ads. No, I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, but in other news, oh my god, it's about freaking time. SimCity is going to go offline.
Awesome.
And not in the way it sounds. It's actually going to have an offline mode. It's not going to go away forever.
Is it going to have cheetah mode in offline? Or is that still not available?
I don't know. That's a good question.
You know, it's funny because didn't they actually say that it can't be done or something? That was the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
We all knew it could be done.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously.
right?
If you believe that, then I have a bridge I need to sell you in Alaska.
Yeah, but the heading says SimCity adding formerly impossible offline mode. So I guess at one time they did say that it was impossible.
They did. You know what makes me angry about SimCity is whenever I see an article like that, the picture is always super cool. I can never get my city to look like that.
Oh, heck no.
Gosh.
That's like
It takes some
building.
really forward thinking.
Not me. I'm lucky
Look
to
at
get a good apartment.
I live in the
like,
now.
Yeah, I overthink SimCity. I think that's my problem. I start to think okay, what do I need to make the city perfect and take all those bars? You know how it tells you what you need based on the little bars at the bottom? I try to make those go away, and I get so wound up in that that I don't even progress in the stupid game.
I know I can tell you that I could never get this far because I would either have a power outage or there would be fires throughout the city before I even get to this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Lito, you are a terrible
I'm
mayor.
terrible. I could never do it.
I like how they call you the mayor. Like in real life, mayors do jack diddly. In this game, you're the be all end all.
Yeah.
Stupid thing to do.
You're
What's the
basically
mayor?
God.
So, SimCity is going to go offline. There's really not much else to say about it except for that. We did talk about this a while back, all the upcoming features and changes they wanted to do to the game. And they had kind of snuck in there, we have this mode coming up, and they named it something sneaky, but it meant offline mode. Now, my question is this going to be an expansion we have to pay for, or just an update we download?
Probably an expansion you have to pay for.
Does the article say that somewhere, and I missed it?
Yeah, offline mode, 1999.
Oh, it says it right there. Yes, offline is coming as a free download with update 10 to all SimCity players. I told you guys.
Wow.
You're so silly.
That's expensive.
EA's being
what?
nice.
It said free download. Why is that expensive?
Oh, free download? Oh, I brain farted then. I guess I was just stuck on that 1999.
Update 10
but...
features a free download where SimCity goes offline.
Okay.
Being nice this time.
That's expensive.
I have been very sick, so things do not process properly.
Right.
I zone out at bad times. Free is expensive.
Okay.
We'll go with it.
Only because I don't care to give you
They
crap
should
for
pay
it.
me to play that game.
There you go. See, now that is the way it should be.
Why?
because they're the ones that
Because
messed
free's
up.
too expensive.
Because free's too expensive. You should be getting paid to play SimCity. It's a good game. They just had some problems at the beginning.
Yeah.
A
No,
lot
I mean,
of problems. Too many problems.
I never had a problem with SimCity. I got SimCity 4, but I'll wait. I'll get this eventually, but I'll wait.
Well, SimCity's coming offline, update 10, and it's coming soon. So if you're a SimCity fan, or you were going to be until you found out it was online only, definitely check that out. I'm actually kind of excited because when I do online games, it's nothing but confusion because I'll make it public, I'll be streaming, and then people will start to join my game, and I'm like, oh, who's that? Who's so-and-so? And no one answers because it's some random dude online. I'm like, okay, and I don't know. It's screwy. And then you try to get their help with stuff, and they don't help you. And it's like, what's the point? This game isn't meant to be online. It just
Most
doesn't
games aren't
work.
meant to be online because nobody wants to really work together. They want to be an island. They want to be the hero, but they want to work on a team.
What is that about multiplayer games? Why
I don't know.
You have to actually converse and work with people. And I think the inner monologue of most people is, all these people are idiots, so I'm just going to have to carry the team.
See,
Like,
the thing
everyone
is,
thinks that.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is with multiplayer, your good multiplayer games are PvP like. So, like for instance, you guys were playing Age of Empires. Now that is awesome multiplayer. It's kind of the same kind of idea. It's you build up your faction or whatever, and then you go attack the other person, your opponents.
Well,
Yeah.
But
even in
with
that,
SimCity, you can't. I mean, you don't attack another city. It's
yeah,
like it doesn't work.
I was showing my dad SimCity. He's like, all my friends are playing SimCity together. What's this all about? Why is it online? That doesn't make sense. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll show you. And I'm like, well, you can cooperate and help each other out. I'm like, well, when do I get to blow up their city? I'm like, and kill them.
Exactly.
You don't. It's like an RTS game with no climax.
Yeah. So it doesn't
Well,
belong
that
in
seems
multiplayer.
like a build tease.
Yeah.
It's seriously like, but even Age of Empires, the difference between success and failure in a team versus team game, as we found out on Tuesday, is like communicating with your teammates. And if you don't do that and you start to do your own thing and you get set in your ways, which is very, very easy to do in multiplayer games, you don't get anywhere. Like you just die.
It's like okay,
And then you rage quit.
And then you rage quit.
We played this Age of MC, right? Age of Minecraft.
yeah.
We just played that like last week. That one there, I can see, would be very difficult if you're not working with your team. You have to have communication with the other teammates. Otherwise, forget it.
Well, for people who don't know, Age of Minecraft is all about collecting resources.
It's awesome,
And
yeah.
the difference between that and actual Age of Empires is you are responsible for collecting all your own resources in Age of Empires. We don't have one guy gathering wood only and one guy gathering stone only. Now, you could do it that way, but it wouldn't be very efficient. Instead, one team will focus on boats, one team will focus on knights on horses, and another team will focus on like heavy artillery weapons. That makes more sense in real Age of Empires. In Age of Minecraft, all you do is collect resources, and by the end of the game, whoever has the most resources wins. So then you have to decide, okay, we need a guy collecting wood, we need a guy collecting... But it's a lot easier to work as a team with such basic goals. Oh, I can collect wood, easy.
Yeah.
But
Problem
RTS
is,
games
a lot
have a lot of
people
different...
want to run in PvP, and then like nobody wants to collect coal because that doesn't get direct points. That just helps you earn points, but it's boring.
Yeah, exactly. So it
Right.
really... Well, unfortunately, the teams I've played on have been no bigger than 4 people most of the time. And you could do it with
But you
4
can have
people.
up to 6.
Yeah. All the games I've played are all 4 people because it's not too popular. We don't know why. We're trying to fix that. We didn't make it or anything. It's just a lot of fun. So we'll get to that later. But yeah, for the most part, team games and multiplayer, like RuneScape. I've been playing RuneScape all damn week with my buddy 8craft. And this is one of the first times, maybe the second time I've ever played RuneScape with someone else and actually worked together on stuff. And the game isn't... This is one game that's not meant to be played as, with a team. Because quests don't work like that. In World of Warcraft, you can party up with someone and complete the quest simultaneously with them. In RuneScape, you have to... Like, if someone, they can get ahead of you in the quest. They can finish it before you. There's no way to party up with people in RuneScape.
Right.
So... It was like weird because I've actually found it really helpful to have him with me, and so if I'm getting angry and I'm dying like I was earlier today, he's there and like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow you into this room. I'm going to bring you some extra food. I'm going to give you that, and then you can go fight that boss.
It was very entertaining to watch.
Oh, my God. Were you there?
I was there the whole time.
You were lurking, watching me scream at the game?
I didn't say nothing. I was telling
I
you.
feel like I need to go watch that recap before it gets deleted.
I might
Remember,
delete it.
I got on there and I
Maybe
said,
you
man,
should clip that out.
I talked about me
save
being
it.
banned.
No.
remember?
This was today.
Oh, today?
I
No, I wasn't
can
here
do
today. No, I wasn't watching it today. But
If you allow highlights, I'm going to go do that now.
yeah, it's awesome. It's
Anyway,
very entertaining when you watch them work together.
it's one of those games where I never thought to play. When I was younger and I played it, it wasn't a team kind of game. I did stuff with my friends, but whenever I had to get something done, it would be by myself. And a lot of multiplayer games end up being that way. And it's just weird to me. So take the one game that shouldn't be online, and then they put it online and wonder why everyone gets pissed. You know, there's people that are like, it's DRM, and other people are like, this doesn't make sense.
Well, like
Forget
World of
DRM,
Warcraft.
why?
It was
Usually-
DRM.
I know.
Usually, like with World of Warcraft or something like that, they have a team speak, and the whole guild will get on, and they'll work together, going through dungeons and raids.
But
And
what do you talk about when you're playing SimCity? Like the weather? That's kind of like a laid-back sort of game, even in Cheetah mode.
that's why I
There's no
say.
incoming force or something. It's just like, hey
Yeah.
guys, I need more electricity. So if you could build a power plant near our borders, that'd be great.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, that's why me and Vortak here are saying it's not. I don't think it's meant to be a multiplayer game.
Yeah. So this is good. This is a good thing that it's going to be offline. And yeah, so we've been doing this thing every Tuesday called Tag Team Tuesday. And I can't say every Tuesday because last Tuesday was the first time we've ever done it. And we played Age of Empires. Dreadlow gets off kind of late from work on Tuesdays, so we kind of switched it up because he doesn't have that game. So we all played Age of Empires for a little bit, and then later we played some Minecraft mini games. One of them being Age of Minecraft. And this week we're doing what did we decide? Probably doing some more Age of Empires and maybe some other
Age of
Minecraft
Empires,
mini-games.
probably Age of Minecraft as well.
Age of Minecraft, maybe some other
Yeah.
mini games as well.
If
But
we
we just
think
want to.
so, yeah, if we think of anything else, it will be a surprise.
Yeah, it's us too. We just want to talk about it and make sure people know that it's happening every Tuesday night on this channel
live
at the same time the podcast would start, maybe an hour earlier, depending on how we feel. But just keep an eye out for it. Make sure you're following the twitch.tv/enoobs Twitch channel. That should be
Every
obvious if you type in the
Tuesday.
link twitch.tv.
Chat is invited to come play with us, so
Yes.
it's not just you watching us. You can come play with us.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be awesome.
It was a lot of fun last week.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it went
I-
off pretty well.
I got really mad though, and I rage quit.
Jemmy Rage quit
Like,
Tag Team Tuesday
I
for a
did
little
come
bit.
back though. I did come back, but I needed like 15 minutes to get over it.
It's okay. We all get to that point.
I don't know. It was just the perfect storm, and I was just like, I'm done.
For those
Wow.
of you who weren't there watching, she could have still beat us. That was like the frustrating part for us. Like she resigned before she had lost in Age of Empires, and so did Haller, and we're like, why did they leave? They still had the upper hand. We have no resources left. It was like this endless game where they had built stuff on our land, and we're like, damn it, what do we do? So we were trying to fight off their people, and we had gotten like just a tiny bit ahead. Like we had killed some stuff of theirs and then resigned. We're like, the hell? And I assumed they were just like, okay, well, we used all our resources here, and now we've given time because Jem's sister was there, so now we've given time for her to build up, so we'll resign and then she'll come kill them, which is what I was expecting. And then at the end we all won, and you guys had just rage quit like big babies.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with that game, though. I mean, you go into a territory and they're attacking you at full force, and you're thinking, oh my God, these people must be like, they must have all kinds of resources. They must have a giant army behind them and everything. Oh, we better back off, or resign. And what it really is happening is all your men are killed off. You got just a couple soldiers left, and everything is like, it's funny.
We were so crippled that you had time to go back to your own land and like start over again. and we would have just been sitting there trying to
Maybe.
destroy the remnants
But I
of
had
your
already
base.
reached that point where I was just too frustrated with it. Like, so I just couldn't do it.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, unfortunately for the chat, like, it was in TeamSpeak, which is push to talk, so you couldn't, and like, I was in the other channel anyways, so nobody would have heard my glorious, like, I can't do this!
It's okay
And
though.
it
We all
just,
get to
like,
that point. In
I
games.
literally just, like, rage quit out, and then I walked away from the computer completely.
Yeah, we all get to that point though. Like today when I was playing
Bad.
RuneScape and
I was
dying
embarrassed of myself.
I think everyone does though. That's people love watching other people rage on Twitch and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, everyone's been there, and I think that's why they like watching it. You feel embarrassed at first, then you're like, screw you guys. You've all been here before. Any gamer knows what it's like to get angry at a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met people who think it's impossible. They're like, it's just pushing buttons on a controller, man. Like
No, I
arrogant
just felt really
jerks.
bad because it was our first Tag Team Tuesday, and we're all supposed to be there playing games with everybody. And it's supposed to be this new thing we've started. And 2 games in, I'm like, I'm done. And I like totally bailed on you guys without even saying anything. It was just like, I am so ashamed of myself. I need to go back and recoup this.
Following
Straight.
the trend of that, we're gonna start all over again and play some more Age of Empires tomorrow, along with other things. So just be there. If you have these games, you're more than welcome to join us. And if you don't have them, I mean, you're still welcome to hang out and watch, as always.
Hey, suggest games maybe we could play
Yeah.
or we should
yeah.
go get.
It
That would be
depends
good.
on if we all have them and are willing to spend the money on them. But we're always looking for suggestions. What you think you'd like to see next Tag Team Tuesday. Maybe leave it in the contact us section or the comments on the show notes.
Twitter too would work.
Twitter. I won't read them because Twitter's Twitter feeds get buried, but Jemmy will.
I'll just make a note of like what games people are wanting to see. That's,
Yeah,
that's easy enough.
My problem is by the time I actually get the game, you guys are done with it. It's like, oh,
We
hey
all
guys,
need to
I
get
got
like
the
addicted
game.
to a game.
I got the game, and then you guys go, oh, we're playing this now. Oh,
You're
okay.
lame. What are you doing?
Where
I
have you
don't-
been?
I can see Age of Empires lasting only because it's so nostalgic and it has, for me, a lot of replay value. It's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best RTS games I've ever played. And I mean, I really got into Warcraft and StarCraft.
Original StarCraft.
Yeah, original StarCraft and even Warcraft 2 and 3. I really got into those, but to this day, I still relate the most to Age of Empires because I just understand it more, which is weird because I really like Warcraft. It's fun, but
Yeah.
that game. I feel like Warcraft, it ends up just always ending the same way for me. Like you have to do it just right, otherwise you get screwed over. Same with StarCraft. And Age of Empires has that too, but there's a lot of different elements in Age of Empires that allow you to defend yourself against certain attacks. I don't know. They all have it.
What
but
I
I'm
like
not good-
about
I'm not good at
StarCraft,
RTSs,
though?
is what I'm trying to say.
Is it's a lot faster than Age of Empires. Like
Yeah.
Age of Empires is more about strategy and working together, whereas StarCraft is really mostly about speed
Yeah.
and like focusing your units.
Yeah. Exactly. And anyone can get good at them if they play them long enough and start to learn the pattern is how things go, but the only like RTS I've ever played that would be Age of Empires is like that I haven't had to like sit there and think about. I'm sorry, I haven't had to sit there and rush because Age of Empires is such a slow-paced kind of RTS. You get time to think, and I like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying. I'm babbling, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Unless they're coming to attack you.
I
then-
like having time to think. And Age of Empires is one of those games where you progress through the ages, and no one really attacks until they get to the Castle Imperial age. So you get some time to kind of build
I'm
up.
gonna learn how to peon rush. I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Like
Tons
villager
of
rush.
peons.
Here it comes.
Just make 1,000, 1 billion peons and just do a peon rush right after the opposing
You know what I miss
opponent.
about old StarCraft that I don't like about StarCraft 2, which it shouldn't be a
Don't
thing.
say
but-
circling rush.
No. StarCraft. No. I'm sorry. Warcraft. Warcraft did this. All the mini games in multiplayer were really fun, and then the new Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3 came out, and I didn't like any of them. Same with StarCraft. Like they all had their little peon rush games and little mazes and stuff that you could play with other people. Game variants built into it.
Yeah.
Those were
Yeah,
a lot
I know.
of fun in the old ones, and then the new ones came out and they sucked.
That's how
I
we got
hated 'em.
Defense of the Ancients.
I think
Warcraft 3.
weren't MOBAs like made in one of those games? MOBA, I don't know how to say. You know, like Smite and League of Legends, those style of.
Yeah, that's Defense of the Ancients.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what that came from.
Yeah, I didn't like those.
Yeah, I hated them.
Yeah.
My favorite was the original StarCraft. It had a minigame that was based off an older game called Smash TV. Loved that map. So hard, but it's so good.
Well, now they have Dota 2.
But that's made by Valve.
Well, that's what they say at Dota.
Dota. Who plays Dota?
Okay, DOTA.
A lot of people play Dota. But
call it
actually,
Dota.
I think more people play League of Legends.
And not enough people play Smite. Play Smite.
And a lot
I
of
hate
people
that
play
whole style
Torchlight.
of
Well,
game.
Torchlight's completely different. What am I talking about?
And my favorite quote about playing those styles of games came from Lucklin.
What?
I would rather roll around in a pile of broken glass
Wow.
than play those games.
That would be entertaining to watch. No, it wouldn't.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you were trying to get him to come play Smite with us, and I was like, that embodies how I feel about him.
Some people don't like them. I don't even like them, and I still play them. Like, just Smite. League of Legends I really didn't have fun with, but I think that's because the first time I played, I just got raged on by everyone because I've never experienced that type
That's
of
the
gameplay.
community.
Yeah.
That's
always-
part of the game.
Yeah.
That
I
is-
always get raged on.
Well, my friend who got me into it wasn't willing to help me, and that was the problem. But when Frodo got me into Smite, he was willing to sit down and actually teach me how to play, which not a lot of people are willing to do. So
Yeah.
it made me really prefer Smite.
One of the things with Frodo, though, I mean, he's not afraid to just fool around. You know what I mean? A lot of these players, when you play, like if you play with a friend or whatever, and they're really serious about their game, they don't want to mess around. They just want to
Because
play
you'll destroy your
seriously.
ranking.
You'll
Oh.
destroy your ranking and
Kill the death ratio.
yeah.
My
But
K to D.
Frodo, man, he says, don't worry about it. Just
That's
have
like
fun.
it's the
you know?
ladies.
I love playing things with Frodo because
If you're
You
into
know.
the top 100, you'll never get a lady. Ever.
yeah.
Ever.
When people get angry in that game, he just he gets even more silly, and then I start
Oh.
joining in, or vice versa, and it's a lot
Troll
more fun to play with a friend like that.
Yeah.
I can't
it
play
is.
those games with people who take them too seriously because they're games. And people, we deliberately don't go to ranked matches so we can have fun. Because ranked games, I kind of understand why the ranked games are for the people who take it seriously. Casual games are for people who don't take it seriously and just want
Right.
to play a friggin' game. Except though, for some reason, they're still there and they still make everyone's life hell.
Because they've been kicked out of every ranked game that they ever played because of their attitude.
Well, the problem with games like League of Legends and Smite is you have to do it exactly how everyone else does, and if you don't, they start scratching their heads and going, "Why aren't you doing the thing we all do?"
And then they'll get really mean and ugly with
Yeah,
Yeah.
you. Like, to try to usher you into doing the exact same thing every single game. It's just like, I can't, it's too boring. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
well,
like
the other team is expecting us to do that.
that's what kind of burned me out on World of Warcraft. Same thing. You go into a dungeon, you got to do the same exact pattern through every dungeon that you go through over and over again. You know, there are times when I wanted to wander off and do something else, but no, we have to stick with the pattern. This is how we're going to do it. You know, and it's like it becomes boring after a while just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it's not. No, yeah, it's not fun to play games like that. So it's still, I have fun playing Smite because I think when I play it with a friend who's not into all that, then it's a lot more laid back, and that's when I can handle it, and that's when I like playing. I don't play Smite by myself. I can't do it. Or any
Yeah.
game like that. Couldn't do it. So anyway, multiplayer games. Even games where you have to work together. The game forces you to work together. No one wants to do it the right way. They just want to
Speaking
boss
of
everyone
multiplayer,
around. Huh?
people, I don't know if you've heard this, but people have been raging because they came out with news about the Titanfall only being 6v6 on their multiplayer. And everybody's like, that's not big enough. Next gen
Oh,
sucks.
yeah.
I'm torn on that. That isn't big enough, but how much do they want? Because some people that's
Well,
weird. Go ahead.
I was going to say the article that you you looked up kind of explains it. I mean, not really explains it, but I mean, a lot of people were. If you're going to have a game that only allows 6 people, to play at a time, 6 versus 6 or whatever, then you should have at least like a single player aspect of the game as well, so you can play. And I think that's if it had like 15 versus 15, that would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Just a little more.
That's a decent size.
Yeah, that would be
But
fun.
does adding more people really enhance the experience, though? Because the developers have said they've played around with the AI, and the best ratio is 6v6 with the AI and stuff.
I think that's all dependent on how many points it takes to win the game and the length of the game itself. I don't think it matters how many people. 6v6 might work if the end score needs to be 50 for the team to win. But if the end score needs to be, 600 points or whatever, and each kill
you'd
is
be
worth
there all
10
day.
points. It's all about numbers at that point. It's all about how many points to win the game, how many points is each kill worth, and then how many people versus how many people should be in it. I think there needs to be a game that, and they exist. This isn't a stretch of the imagination at all, but I think more games like where you can control the ratio. So if you have 6 versus 6, the end score is 25, 50 points. If you have 10 versus 10, it's a little bit higher, and you can choose what kind of game you go into, and that exists, right?
Yeah.
Well, games like Battlefield automatically default to, okay, well, you can do smaller games, but it's way more fun to have 30 versus 30. And then the game is chaos. And the more people there are, in my experience, it seems to be you get spawn killed a lot more, like where you spawn and then someone snipes you instantly, and that's not fun.
Yeah, but I don't like the chaos games in Battlefield. Like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome to play with so many people at the same time, but with Titanfall, with 6v6, you're forced to, all of you, work as a team and a squad. In Battlefield, like, you'll maybe have a few people that join that server that are all working together, but everybody else is a lone soldier just standing around sniping or whatever. So it's like just pure chaos to get that win.
Titanfall. I didn't know that. Everyone was going nuts over it when it got announced at E3. I didn't pay any attention because I'm not getting an Xbox, so I didn't care. But
yeah.
I didn't know that. So everyone in Titanfall has to do a specific role?
I don't know if they have to do a specific role, but I'm just saying with smaller numbers, you are forced to work together because if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas with larger numbers, like, you could just get lucky.
Yeah.
There's enough people just chaos surrounding sniping that if you just want to go for the goal, maybe somebody will be covering you accidentally.
The way I see it, I would play a game that was 6 versus 6, but I wouldn't want to buy a game that limited it to that much, and there was no way to go with more people. Sometimes I like big games with a lot of people. Sometimes I don't.
Nobody works together on big games, though. I would prefer to work with my team.
The article I have here for Titanfall talks about how they're worried they're not going to hit their market because it's not single player, it's only online, and not because DRM, maybe because DRM, but it's mostly because they didn't invent a single player campaign. It's meant to be an online shooter, and people are bitching about it because it's a shooter without a campaign. But what about Halo? I mean, people play the campaign and then they never touch it again because they only play it online. So what's the difference if you skip that few hours of gameplay and go straight to online mode only?
Because if you don't, because people are already complaining about the online mode being so small, size-wise, they didn't really flesh out the multiplayer. So it's kind of like Halo in the fact that we have a couple of game modes like capture the flag and this, that, and the other, but like that's all there is. There isn't a single player mode for the people who want that. So you're like, for the people who just pick FPS to play single player mode, and there's a lot of people who do who never touch multiplayer. You've totally lost that market. It's going to cost the full amount of a retail game, which you're only getting about half the game in most people's eyes.
Yeah.
And then Xbox Ones are just sitting on the shelves. So you're on the console that isn't flying off the shelves. So you've already lost a lot of market. The point I was getting to was that you're not going to sell a lot of games if you not only don't do a single player, but you limit yourself to such a small amount of people, where these days games like Battlefield are dominating, and people like to play games with a lot more people in them.
So why limit yourself to 6 versus 6? Maybe make a game mode that's 6 versus 6, and then make another game mode that's 10 versus 10 or more, so everyone's happy. If you're gonna make an online game like that, you need to make everyone happy. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, I think they should have had more going for them. If they're only gonna do multiplayer mode, you need to give them a reason to join, like a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Right.
Titanfall,
Because
like all I heard about
But-
was that people were going nuts.
you can still like make a great game that has crappy multiplayer if it has a single player mode that has a really great story.
Yeah, a memorable single player will.
Nobody
will
is going to forgive you if all you have is multiplayer and most people feel it's meh.
Yeah, I mean, just a campaign of some sort. Most of your multiplayer games, like Call of Duty and things like that, they always have a campaign. So there's a single player mode that you can like. It's actually a lot of the reason for the campaigns was to get you associated with the game and the controls and things like that, so that when you go into the multiplayer environment, you're able to understand, how everything works. But it also tells a story, and I think that's what Titanfall would have really benefited from. No?
A story
No,
mode,
I agree. It's weird because I think back to when I was playing Halo Reach, like you could play through the story mode as a group, and with such small numbers in Titanfall, you would think that they would have had a story mode.
Right.
Yeah, 6 versus 6, and then I can't imagine that being very popular, because now that I think about Halo, like Halo 4, for example, they have games that are like 3v3. They have little team matches that are 2v2v2. Like, they have their small ones, but then they have big team battle. And there's a whole group of people who love big team battle, and there's a whole group of people who don't love it. And so Halo makes an awesome campaign every game, and then they make, I mean, that's a matter of opinion, and then they make an awesome multiplayer because it's diverse.
Pick your flavor.
Yeah. And you can get your Halo multiplayer rank up by playing any of those categories of multiplayer. You don't have to play big team battle and only get your big team battle rank up. It still ranks up your guy, no matter what you play. So it's they did it right. So Titanfall should be taking a page out of that book and going, okay, if we're not going to do a single player, we at least need to do this. We at least need to make it so people have the choice. Giant games or smaller games.
Right, exactly.
I can agree with that.
Maybe they'll have an expansion or something.
That would piss people off, though, because people are already angry.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, we'll make a DLC with more people later, but here's the game now. So you want me to
Or
pay
worse
$60?
yet, here's a DLC single player mode.
$19.99.
Now you can play it offline all by yourself.
1,600 Microsoft points. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is on the Microsoft Network, so yeah, it would cost points, because Microsoft does not like to give anything away for free.
I don't think they do points anymore.
Well, no, they're moving away from that, but like they don't allow things on their marketplace that are just free, because there's a lot of free DLC you got if you had the PC version of any Valve game, because they just like to give maps away for free. They don't feel like it's enough to have people pay for it. And Microsoft's like, no, you can't do that. We need you to charge for it. So what they ended up doing was like saying, okay, we'll make a giant map pack later and then charge like the bare minimum for it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that ever came to fruition or not, but they, Valve wasn't happy about that.
DLCs, I'm so like torn still. We've had them for a while now. Like, it shouldn't even be a question anymore of what I think about a DLC, but the more I kind of consider video games and what they've evolved into, the more I kind of think, wow, why are we still struggling to make money on games that are 2-3 years old? The game had its time. Why not make a new game or a sequel to that game? Why do you keep releasing DLCs and charging people for them?
Because that's a lot cheaper than creating a new game.
Of course, and it's just that's why I'm angry, because it's like this lazy thing that people do now. And before, it was like such a huge deal. Like, we made a new game and we released it, and a year later, now we're working on our next game, not our DLC for that game. We're not stuck in the past. We're moving forward, and we're making something else that's revolutionary and awesome.
Right.
And
Well, because you have games that release just like constantly now. Just go, 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 go. Like, it's easy to put out a game now. There's lots of developers. So games are coming out all the time. And a lot of times people can't keep up with the demand. Like, it's quantity now over quality. Let's just face it. Games are not as good as they used to be. And DLC used to be a big deal when it was first announced, and it started in PC gaming and then moved over to consoles. It was a big deal to have an expansion pack or a DLC. Now it's mostly crap.
yeah.
Like, I never get DLC.
I
have to
don't.
fall in love with that game, like, and spend crazy amounts of hours on it before I even consider buying add-ons.
That's my other
Borderlands 2
problem.
Pet Pack.
What? Oh,
Expansion.
yeah.
No.
That's my other problem. When I beat, for example, when you beat Borderlands 2, you move on to another game, right? You've beaten it. That's
Yeah.
it. By the time the Borderlands 2 DLC comes out for that first expansion to the story, you're like, I beat the story. I'm playing this game now. Now I got to go back and play. There's too many games for me to keep purchasing crap for this game that I already enjoyed.
Maybe developers need to only really make DLC for, like, the best games, which Borderlands 2 would have gotten DLC then, but
It was
I think
it was
everybody-
fair. That's a bad example because Borderlands 2 has some good DLC.
Yeah.
developers, I think, just want to squeeze every dime out of every game, and so they waste a lot of time creating DLC, expensive DLC for games like most people don't care about.
I think it also keeps it in the numbers game, the numbers of like the best games of the year type numbers. And so what it does is when a game starts to lose interest, they throw out an expansion pack so that people can go, oh, hey, expansion pack. And then those who haven't played it before will buy the original game and maybe get the expansion pack. And it'll just increase the, the best of 2013 or whatever, because they'll be on the top. That same game will always, stay within the top 10.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
I
not.
think that's one of the reasons why they do the
But a
expansion.
bad game's always a bad game. Like, there's no DLC you can release that's going to redeem a game.
No, yeah, exactly.
Well, once it's finished, I mean, seriously, like Borderlands, once you get through it, that's it, right? Okay, so now it's in the back burner, the beginning, say, of February, March of 2013. Nobody's playing it anymore. Nobody's buying it anymore or whatever. So what are they going to do? Well, let's try to bring this thing back alive so that we can, keep the momentum going on the game. So they'll throw out a
it's about
DLC.
money.
Yeah.
It's all about money because it's cheap to make DLC, and the production time is very small because, like, everything you need is already made. Now you just need extra, like, voice clips and a few triggered events and stuff. But, like, all your resources and stuff, chances are the artists have already made it, so you just kind of have to compile it into a map and then drop in some voice clips and some triggers, and you have, like, a compiled story that took literally no time to create, as opposed to building a new game from scratch.
Okay, so here's my question for you then. I don't even know how I'd answer this, to be honest. But okay, a new game is $60. Let's say Borderlands 2, $60, and all the DLC that comes out for it, you expect it to be great. Would you rather buy Borderlands 2 and then a bunch of DLC as the months go by, or would you rather pay more for Borderlands 2, say $100, and have the DLC the day it comes out, and never pay another dime for Borderlands 2 again?
Well, see, okay, we got this thing called Minecraft, and it's still, to this day, getting updates and expanding and getting greater and better. Well, lately it hasn't been getting any better, but anyway. But, I mean, we don't pay for all the updates, all those things. If Borderlands was to just make Borderlands and then say, hey, we got a nifty new update, okay, price a little high. I think $60 is enough. But, I mean, if you price it a little higher,
We do
and
have
any
that, though.
expansions or add-ons that they come up with throughout the year, They
We
should
have
be
that now,
included.
though.
That's
But
the end
it's
of the
like
year.
an optional thing because it's the season pass now. It's
Yeah.
pre-buying all the DLC. When you don't even have to buy it at the time you purchase the game. You can decide like later on down the line. Like I finished the game. I love this game. I'm gonna buy the season pass
Here's
and
the
just have all
problem.
the DLC.
There's a problem with season pass that makes my question still stand. When you buy the season pass, you're buying all the DLC the day the game comes out, but you don't have it. I'm talking about the game maybe gets released a little bit later, or it comes out on time. All the DLC is there when you buy it. The whole point to my question is you get to enjoy the game, and that's it. Then it's done. That's my problem with DLC. I don't want to go back to a game. I've already enjoyed it.
I think a lot of DLC is the product of what players are experiencing in the game as it stands, and so they get ideas from that. So like the developers will say, hey, well, you know what, people seem to like this particular part of the game. Why don't we come out with a DLC that will add to it or something? And so I really think that a lot of the DLCs are just like, afterthoughts after the game has already been out. Then they get an idea and they put it
I
out.
think they're all pre-planned. That's my.
Yeah.
It depends on the game, but I truly believe they're all pre-planned. And
they're pre-planned, but that doesn't mean they're made.
Because
I think EA pre-plans it, but anyway.
They don't even finish games on release now. There's always some giant like day one update like to finish the game.
Well, that's true. EA has been blamed for that.
MMOs are like notorious for it.
They'll put out a game where you get like one or two of the characters of a storyline, and later on they'll come out with an expansion pack and they'll add a character to it or whatever.
And then alphas now, that's the popular thing.
Yeah, now it's
Alphazization
the alpha
of games,
to beta to final release. Yeah.
pre-buy your game in alpha.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue though. Like games that are coming out in alpha and stuff. Like anyway, I don't know. I was just thinking, if a game came out and said we're charging $100 for this AAA title, and people go, "Whoa, I'm outraged. I usually pay $60. What the hell?" They're gonna go, "Well, you're never gonna see a DLC for it, and you're gonna get a very long experience."
I don't think it would work though, because most people like to pay smaller upfront fees and then keep playing over time because they don't realize how much they're spending on it.
Yeah.
People see a giant upfront price tag, I'm out. It's not just me; it's everybody.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I just think it'd be very interesting to see, like, if they sat people down and said, "You're gonna be paying this much for the game at the end." Except now you don't have to go back and play it again.
That just makes them seem like a cocky bastard. Like, you're going to end up paying this much in the end anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and charge it.
You say that to the people who are going to buy the DLC. It's a hypothetical, and you're all overthinking it. All I was trying to say was that, I don't know, maybe if I liked the game that much, maybe I would pay a little bit more just to have it all at once. And then I can finish it and move on with my life because there's too many freaking games out right now. And now Age of Empires 2 HD, I'm playing that. I played that when I was like 10 years old. I should have had my fun with it. Now I'm playing it again. You know what I mean? I don't have time to play all these new games. And then you release DLCs for them? Get out of my face.
Well, then this year... Speaking of this year it's really popular to do the pile of shame New Year's resolution. It's all the games that you haven't finished yet.
Yeah.
You don't buy a new one until you finish the pile.
I don't like the pile of shame resolution. I don't participate. I thought there was one year I did that. It didn't have a name. I just thought to myself, I'm not buying a new game until I finish the following. And I never finished the following because it became like this thing I had to do, like this chore. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to play this new game.
I have a pile of shame for books.
Well, books are different.
No, I get through a lot of books, but then because I get through books so quickly, I just kind of accumulate a lot of books more quickly than I will ever be able to read them. So it's like all these books I really want to read, and I've bought them ahead of time, so like I have no idea what I'm going to be in the mood for next. So then I end up buying a new book right when I'm like ready to read a new book that's not in the pile.
Yeah, well, you're weird because
I get like that with movies.
Podcast and you read books.
So you have a pile of shame with movies?
Yeah, I know. If I'm in the mood,
a bunch of them still in the plastic wrap.
Actually, I do have one that's still in the plastic wrap. It's called Bug.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good one.
Ashley
Probably
Judd.
best it's still in the plastic wrap.
Ashley Judd.
Oh no.
But I saw it. That's why it's still in plastic. I already saw it.
Vortex Pile of Shame is TV shows.
Oh yeah, his big
Kinda.
thing is the two.
I tend to keep up on them. I try anyway. I guess we
God.
all have a pile of shame.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do that with games, though. It's not fun to play games that way. I'm the kind of person
No.
who bounces back and forth. And
I agree.
I've always been in this vicious cycle of going back to, like, I'll get a new game, and then instead of playing the new game, I'll play an old game first, and then cycle back to it. It's weird.
I have about 50 games on Steam that I have yet to install and play. No lie, I swear. And that's
Wow.
because when they come out on sale, and I say, oh my God, that was like $60 last year, and it's only like 15 right now. I'm going to grab it, and I'll buy it, and it sits there, and I haven't installed it yet. So yeah, there's about 50 of them, because I got like 160 games, I think. So there's about 50 of them that I haven't actually installed or played yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got my Steam games of
Sorry, I'm
shame or
laughing
whatever
at
you want.
chat.
Oh,
Apparently, they feel Vortex Pile of Shame is insults.
I just have, like, a list of insults I haven't gotten to say yet.
that he hasn't used on micro yet.
Given the right...
Specific target, too.
Yeah, given the right time and, like, the right mood, I have this list of insults sitting up over here, and I refer to it every time the mood
You
is
burn
right.
the midnight oil.
Yeah, when the mood's
list.
right, blam, they all come out.
Yeah. No.
No.
Anyway.
They're all pre-recorded. No, it's kidding.
That's why he has the soundboard, so he can
Yeah.
just like hit that sound button.
Uh-huh.
Well, moving on. Speaking of games I'm sure no one's played, we got to get people playing Cat Lateral Damage.
Oh,
I need that game to
yeah.
be finished. I need that to be finished.
Oh my gosh.
It's alpha, unfortunately.
If anyone owns a cat, even if you don't play video games, you can relate to this. It's a game where you control a cat. You have 2 minutes to knock over everything in the room onto the floor, and that's how you win.
Yeah. And I could see them
All
adding
it is
levels.
like first person, you see the paw swipe, and you just go.
Yeah. And they'll have levels. You watch. They'll have levels. It'll be kind of like Angry
Katamari?
Birds. Like Angry Birds. They'll have different kinds of obstacles and things you got to go through. Yeah, I think I could see this turning out to be something good.
It reminds me of Surgeon Simulator, just because of the charm, nothing else.
Oh yeah.
Because
No,
that's,
yeah.
you know, it's like a cat simulator.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
less rage-inducing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like
feel like that would be a game that you would play when you needed to come down from the game rage. Like, ah! She's just like throwing all this stuff across the room, and that's all you do. That's all you do. It's very satisfying to watch those DVDs. And the TV, you can knock the TV down as this tiny little cat. It's hilarious. Apparently, you're the Hulk Hogan of cats.
Yeah, it's called Cat Lateral Damage, but it looks like Kotaku thinks it should be called Jerk Cat Simulator.
2014.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be fun.
Go check that out. It's going to be linked in the show notes, but we wanted to mention that because,
Yeah, right now it's browser only,
yeah,
but eventually they'll probably have a client or whatever.
you can buy it in stores.
It's free, too.
Yeah.
It's like, so
Buy it
there's
in
no reason you cannot play this.
Yeah,
Cat Lateral Damage. Cute.
we'll get it popular here, so they'll continue with it.
I will so if they finish that game, I will so throw my money down for it.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think that game needs any kind of Kickstarter or anything.
Why
It's
didn't
all-
we think of this?
'cause
Why?
we don't try anyway. We can't code game. I can't code games or I'm not artistic like
We
that.
could think of a game and then we can gather a bunch
That
of
game
people
isn't very
with code to
artistic,
help us
though.
with it.
No,
Minecraft
hire
isn't very
people.
artistic. It's
I
just stylized.
It's just something that it's so simple. You would think we would have thought of it, or somebody,
best
Anyway.
ideas are.
yeah.
Well, fine. If it makes you feel better, move on to something less simplistic. How about Razer's new gaming computer? This topic
Oh,
That
the
is like
modular tower.
less simplistic.
This topic was
I-
given to us by our buddy. I think a couple people mentioned it. TTX was showing us though, and yeah, he he's obsessed with this idea. I don't know how it's going to go over because I don't know about Razer. I just don't buy their stuff. I always looked at their keyboards and mice like they were glorified keyboards and mice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they focus on gaming versions of things, and I always skip over their stuff because I feel like they have awful aesthetic design. I mean, maybe guys like them, but for a woman, I just don't feel like they're great. So when I bought my gaming keyboard, I went Logitech because it's simplistic and it's a brand I love and trust.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept.
And I really think that tower is a representation of all the stuff I usually see them make, and it's fug. I think
it is.
I think modular computer is a good idea, but it's fug.
It's ugly, yes, but the idea is awesome.
It's not winning America's Next Top Model PC.
No, it's
not
ugly.
even a thing, so don't worry about it.
But it's interesting because all the modules are about the same size, right? And each one
No,
is
some of them are like doubled, like
double
two
size
modules together, but it takes up 2 slots in the tower.
Yeah. And I just like the idea of being able to just go online and go, okay, let's see, I need a GPU. I'll take that one. And let's see, I'll take this over here, take that over there, get it in the mail, and you just plug them in. Boom, 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 and turn it on, and it works. That's awesome. I like the idea of that.
They target gamers, but here's the one problem I see with it right off the bat.
Gamers don't need that.
That, and I don't know how much this thing is going to cost, and it's Razer, and it's probably going to be super friggin' expensive. Which
True,
is not
each
what
module.
gamers want.
Yeah. But they say everything is in-house, so like one of the questions that was, that was asked was, what about, time frame? Like if you see the next, evolution of CPU or GPU pop up, how fast are you able to make a module for it? You know what I mean? And they said, well, we do it in-house. We can do that right on the spot as soon as something comes out.
I don't think it would take them long to do that. And I think the modular PC probably, I know this is going to be crazy, would do best in the subscription thing. You subscribe to the Razer module PC, and depending on what tier membership you buy, I'm in the premium platinum, so every time they have a new module drop, you get it sent in the mail, and then you send back the old one.
Ooh, that's a neat idea.
And you just subscribe and essentially lease the parts on your computer.
And then there's all kinds of things you have to sign in case they break or something like that.
Yeah, you sign a contract or all that good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of red tape and fine print that would have to come along with leasing that kind of hardware. But if something breaks, you immediately send it back, and they'll send a replacement, and all that good stuff. But then it's a small fee up front for a gaming PC. But in the long run, Razer would be earning tons more money.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would only pay a couple $100 up front, because most of that would be a deposit fee, and then you buy your subscription fee, which it's hardware, so it wouldn't exactly be cheap, but it would be cheaper than buying a brand new gaming computer up front. And then you just pay $50 a month.
Also, the thing is something easy for basically anybody. But like Vortak was saying, it's for gamers, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So gamers like to put their own stuff together, and a lot of gamers are smart when it comes to
that's
PC.
That's what this stuff does, though.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you're part of the platinum, you can always swap it out. So you can go on the website and be like, okay, I'm ready for my video card update because this new whatever came out, and you go and check the Razer website. They have it. You're available for an upgrade on your Razer, because I imagine they've put a cap that you can only get one or two new video cards just upgraded a year depending on your membership.
Yeah.
Because otherwise everybody would be like, well, I'm just going to step back and get the brand new video card every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'd have to put a cap on how many times you could do it.
Or have your modules downloadable. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that wouldn't be... Teleportation, not in existence yet.
Upgrade your memory. Download now.
I wonder if they would require you to send the part in before they'd mail you the new part.
I don't know. That would be weird, because then you'd be without a computer.
Then you'd have a few days where you couldn't play anything.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's a cool concept, but I am wondering if this will appeal to the masses for pretty much all the reasons we've already said. And then the price, we don't know what that is.
yeah.
But maybe I watched up to like the end. Maybe at the very end he says it, and I just kind of paused it and missed it at the end. I don't know, but I don't see this being a cheap thing when the main thing people do when they build a gaming PC for themselves is they price check every little component to see if they can get the best computer for the best price.
Right. If a graphics card costs, $400, $500, and they're going to put that graphics card in a module, how much more money are we talking about?
Yeah.
Because it's
you're paying for labor of putting these parts in modules, and then
Right.
they're cooled with the special coolant, and I wonder
Correct.
and I don't even think they can do fan cooling because of the way it's designed. You pretty much have to do liquid cooling.
Yeah, there's no way. They're encased in plastic. There might be some vents, but still, it's the whole point of a tower is to circulate air through it. Whereas there's no circulation. You can't. What are you going to do?
Circulation of water cooling.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I'll be really curious to see if and when it hits the market, what's going to happen and how many people are going to do it. I think it's going to all come down to the cost. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
All going to come down to cost, but we'll link it in the show notes so you guys can see it for yourself. See if you think it's ugly or good looking, and maybe it's your thing, maybe it's not. It's definitely in terms of building a computer, take like 2 seconds. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it
you
looks
just
like
snap
those
them into
parts
place.
just snap in there. I think I'd be scared with a cat though, because she just knock it off. Modules go flying across the room.
Yeah.
your deposit gets lost if you're renting it, which we don't even know if it's going to be a thing, but
Somebody in chat mentioned I buy power, and see that's kind of like that's where you can take a case and you put together your computer, you put your graphics card in and all that stuff, and that I can see as a thing. That's more like
it is.
They come out with exactly. I buy power has come out with a system where you can put together your own computer, where the computer components or the actual graphics card, CPU, all that stuff is not going to be any more extra in cost because it's not modular. It's not put inside of a case, or there's no labor involved in that. You're getting the product, you're putting it in your case, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so, I could see that more of a promising thing for a lower price.
Moves away from that whole let's integrate everything movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Well, before we run out of time, we should probably give away Oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody might want that this
Oh,
week.
you know what? We're too late. We're not going to be able to give it away.
Listen,
The
next
time
week.
ran out.
I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
Ha,
No.
ha, ha.
No, it needs to leave the prize closet, okay? It's got to go.
It's taking up room. Okay. So, we all gave you the option to fill out a contest form and on everythingnoob.com, and you all did, and we appreciate it. And let's see who wins a copy of Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, Howler 2000.
Good
Howler
luck,
2000 wins.
Howler on collecting that.
Congratulations.
Congrats, bro.
Congrats, bro. Yes.
It's a good game. If you don't love it, I hate you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Messed up. So, congratulations to Howler. That's a fantastic game.
It is.
We have another giveaway. For those of you disappointed, I didn't win. We have another game to give away. And I'm actually going to check Steam right now, not just for the title, but to make sure there's no complications here before I promise this game to you.
And then we have a week to fix it somehow.
Yeah, and then there's a big, huge thing. Come on, Steam. Don't do this to me. It's the end of the show. We gotta get a move on here. Perfect. So, donated by JCE17, Jake, as I call him.
He's
Thank
in
you,
chat.
bro. You're an awesome fan.
Yes, you are awesome. We are giving people the chance to win Super Hexagon, and apparently it's just this game that
Fun
makes you feel like
puzzler.
you're on all kinds of drugs, and it's a puzzler. A lot of fun. We're giving away Super Hexagon on behalf of Jake. So be sure to go ahead and enter that contest. It's going to be linked in the show notes of this episode on everythingnoob.com, and we'll get that up here, after the show sometime. But that's it. Thank you all for listening to this installment of Everything Noob Podcast, and we will see you next week. And same noob time, same noob place. Don't forget about Tag Team Tuesday as well. tomorrow.
Yep.
Same time as the podcast, only tomorrow. All right, guys.
Noob's out.
Noob's out.
Noob's
Roll
out.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to visit everythingnoob.com for previous episodes, show notes, host bios, and blogs. And while you're there, feel free to write us with any questions, comments, or suggestions you may have. Don't forget to check out the links to our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV channel as well. On behalf of the noobs, see you next week, and happy gaming.